When it comes to the housing market, new construction homes and builders really control the overall market, especially in areas that are newer. We're going to be talking about how the new construction market is finally getting hit here in 2023 and how that impacts you if you're looking at buying a new home or a home that's even only a couple of years old. We're going to take a look at my screen here and show you some data that's very, very interesting and talk about some interesting points that I think will help you along the way. What's going on, everybody? My name is Cody Stecky, your favorite Utah realtor. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Like I said, in this one, we're talking about new construction. And if this is your first time here, I want to welcome you to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for being a watcher of the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. What I want to talk about here is how new construction actually affects the overall market. The first thing I have to point out here is that new construction, especially in these newer areas, really controls the market, because if you can go out there and buy a brand new home for, let's say, $700,000, then why would you buy an old existing home that's already been lived in for $700,000, assuming that everything else is the same? If you've got two matching homes and they're the exact same size, the same lot size, the same location, everything is the same about them except for the fact that one is a couple of years old and one is new construction, that is really going to determine how you can actually sell your home if you're a home seller in this market. So like I just said in the example, if you can buy a brand new home for $700,000, then the one that's a couple of years old is not going to sell for $700,000. If the new construction home from the builder drops their price to $650,000, well, automatically you're going to have to drop your price even further, right? You're probably going to be somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000 below what the new construction builders are selling for. And if they drop their prices, you automatically have to drop your price, because no buyer in their right mind is going to go out there and purchase a home that's already a couple years old when they could go purchase a brand new one from a builder. So with that said, let's jump into my screen here and take a look at some of this information for 2023 and how builders are finally adjusting their prices to really reflect what's going on in the market. Now, when it comes to this, there's a lot of new construction homes out there, and it's really important to watch this market because they do control such a large portion of the overall real estate market. Let's take a look at this here. So this is going to be for northern Utah. We're looking at homes that were built in at least 2023. We're going to be looking at property type single family only. So no townhomes, no condos, no twin homes or anything like that. And we're looking at Salt Lake, Wasatch, Summit, Utah, Davis, Weber, or Tooele counties. This is basically everything in the northern market for the metro area. So taking a look at this information here, starting off the year, we had 25 home sales, and you can see that the median sales price was at $768. February, 88 home sales, prices dropped to $690. March, 177. Median prices dropped to $619. These prices are coming down very, very quickly. We're going to talk about more of this here in just a second. April 2023, 166 sales, median sales price at $605. Now, for the month of May, we're showing at $697. I don't think we're going to close out the month that high. When you get a month that we're currently in, the data that it projects is not always entirely accurate. So just kind of ignore this May data right here. You can kind of take it and use it, but you have to use it with a grain of salt, right? So March and April, these are the months that I really want to look at. Look at how much these prices have dropped since the end of last year. January 2023, home prices were at $768. Now we're down to $605. That is a huge drop. I mean, that's almost 20% of a drop on the median sales price. Looking over here, median sales price to original listing price. Remember, this is how much the home sold for based on how much they were actually asking for that home, right? So on average here in January, we were at 99%, meaning that a home 768 was originally listed at 773. So this basically means that homes for new construction were listed at a certain amount and they sold for just a little bit under that. Same thing here in February, but in March and April, we saw huge drops here of 3 and 4%. Now that might not sound like a lot, but in 1 month, that's actually a very large drop, and it's actually a very large adjustment to the market because it tells you really what's going on. Here in March, builders started to get antsy and they were listing their homes on a median basis at $637,000, but only selling for $620,000. Now, again, when it comes to new construction, builders are generally very resistive to dropping their prices because they know that if they give a discount to one person and give that person, let's say, $20,000 off the price, every other person that comes after them is going to see that on the market and say, well, hey, this one down here on the corner sold for $20,000 less. I want $20,000 off of my home as well. And when you're selling 5, 10, 15, 20 homes every single month, that is really going to add up to a significant amount of money. So builders are very slow to drop prices. They're very resistive to negotiating on their on the prices on their homes. And usually we don't see price drops come into effect on new construction. If the home is listed at 700,000, they're basically going to say, look, we want an offer of 700 or we're not going to take it. You know, they might give you a couple $1,000s here or there, but generally these bigger price drops of $5, $10, $15,000 below what they're asking does not usually go through. Doesn't fly with new construction. Now, real quick, guys, if you are thinking about buying or selling real estate here in Utah, whether you're looking at an existing home or new construction with one of these builders, make sure to reach out to me. Call, text, or email anytime. My information is here on the screen as always, and you can find it down there in the description box below. I love hearing from you guys. I've had people from all across the world reach out to me, and also people who live here in the Salt Lake area already who have reached out to me, and I absolutely love it. So make sure to do that, and also don't forget to check out that newsletter in the description box down below. We release one newsletter every single week with a lot of great content that never makes it onto the channel here, and if you're interested in what it's like to live here, I think you'll find that valuable. So with that said, let's jump back into the screen here and take a look at this for the month of April. So April, we saw a median sales price of $605 and a median original listing price of $630. So that median listing price is coming down, and we're also seeing sales prices come down substantially. Here in April, we saw 4% off of the listing price on a median basis, which is very, very substantial when it comes to new construction. We're finally seeing that new construction and builders, they're starting to come down off these prices, and we're seeing major changes here. This is going to affect the retail market, and by retail, I mean basically anything that has already been lived in. You know, it's maybe a year old, 2 years old, maybe it's 50 years old, right? This is going to drastically affect that market, because if the new construction homes are dropping prices, that means everybody else is going to have to drop as well. It's the same thing with cars, right? If you can go out there and buy a brand new car for cheaper than a used car, well, of course you're going to go buy brand new, and that's going to force the used cars to actually go ahead and drop their price as well. So this is going to actually cause a lot of downward pressure on the housing market, and this is something you're going to want to watch. Now let's jump over here and switch over this search criteria. We're going to get rid of single family homes. We're going to take a quick look at twin homes, condos, and townhomes for the same period. So looking at this information for the month of January, we had 13 home sales, and this actually looks like a little bit of an outlier because we were only at 10%, or we were at 10% off of the original listing price when it comes to the sales price. You can see the median sales price here of $385 versus $430 on the list price. I think that's a little bit of an outlier. Not sure what happened with the data there, but let's take a look at this and see how it compares for the month of February, March, and then April, right? So here in February, we're at 97%. March 98%, and then April 93%. So this change in prices is even more dramatic when it comes to condos and townhomes that are on the market. This actually kind of makes sense because when you have, let's say, 10 or 15 condos that are available for sale in one particular building, as soon as you start dropping prices on one, every other unit has to drop prices as well because those units are exactly the same, right? The example that I talked about earlier is actually going to be exaggerated even more in this scenario, right? So you can see that the median listing price was at $441,000 with a median sales price of $410,000. Now you might be looking at this as well and see that the prices are actually climbing. This is very interesting to see. 386, 397, 393, and then 410. So we're actually going through a slight climb in prices during this time frame. And I think that's basically just due to seasonality. We're starting to see more of these condos and townhomes come onto the market. We're starting to see more of them get listed on the market. Oftentimes with builders, they're going to hold this inventory back and they won't actually put it out onto the open market until it sells. So you can't always see that information from these builders. So with all that being said, guys, we covered a lot of information here in the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to share this video with a friend, a family member, maybe it's a spouse who's also interested in what's happening here in the market. Don't forget to reach out to me if you're thinking to buy or sell real estate here in Utah. I love hearing from you guys. And with that said, we'll catch you in the next one.